What's going on, everybody? What's up, YouTube? Marc Lobliner here, tigerfitness.com. Oh man, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up to live Q&A like we always do. However, I would like to get to a topic. There's a new study that just hit all the circulars. For those of you who aren't as old as me, circulars means newspapers, periodicals. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the study actually showed, and I'm gonna read it. I have my computer right here. I'm gonna read it right here. It shows that. Here's the title they had in the paper. Ketogenic diets may lead to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, you guys know I am not the biggest advocate for keto diets. However, I am a huge fan of keto diets for such applications as diabetes mediation, treatment, even prevention. I'm a big fan of keto diets for people who just can't control their carb intake, for people who have a sugar addiction. I actually like ketogenic diets and I like fat as a fuel. Big fan of MCT oil in the morning. Obviously, Ritual AM, we have BHBs in there. I have that in my cup right here. Some Ritual AM, get the ketones going. I love ketones as a fuel source. I am not a fan of the keto diet in that I'm a zealot, but I am a fan of the keto diet for health applications. New research published in the Journal of Physiology indicates that ketogenic diets, which are low carbohydrate, high fat eating plans that are known to lead to weight loss, may cause an increase in type 2 diabetes in the early stage of the diet. Now recall, the early stage of the diet could be when the body is learning how to shift from burning glucose to burning ketones. So remember, your body hasn't adapted to the shift. And once your body becomes fat adapted, and I'll explain fat adapted, once your body becomes fat adapted, your body can shift from burning glucose to burning fat, which will obviously negate a lot of these problems. So type 2 diabetes, one of the most pressing challenges, blah, blah, blah. So insulin is released in the blood and used to control blood sugars, including signaling the liver to stop producing sugar. If the system is impaired, the body does not use insulin properly, which is insulin resistance. Essentially, what the study surmised is because you're not giving your body carbohydrate, when you do give it carbohydrate, it doesn't know what the fuck to do with it, and the body's like, fuck it, I'm gonna get diabetes. I think this study is flawed. I think it's bullshit. And I think those of you who are on a keto diet are not doing anything bad. You're doing a lot of good. And also, those of you who know about the value of ketones and know that I'm a huge proponent of periodic fasts. I do 24-hour fasts about once a week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes once every other week, depends how it fits with my diet. The main thing about fasting is that your body goes to stored body fat and produces ketones, which causes your body to do something called autophagy. Autophagy is your body literally eating itself or eating the dead cells, dead proteins, so it can make room to regenerate new proteins, new cells. Autophagy is amazing. That's the reason I go in the sauna 4 to 5 times a week for 15 to 20 minutes. Autophagy is amazing. And by doing the keto diet, and again, I'm not gonna footnote these like I do in my ingredient videos because I'm just doing a live. By doing the keto diet, you are getting 71% of the benefits of fasting for autophagy. So you are getting benefits you would have to not eat for by simply reducing carbohydrate, forcing your body to utilize your stored fats for fuels, hence producing ketones to fuel your brain. Remember, your brain's about 60% fat. So your body likes fat as a fuel source. And remember that as we were developing as a human, up to, I believe, 90,000 years ago before the end of the Ice Age, human, even now, there are entire populations sustaining on fat diets and protein alone. Our body is evolutionarily primed to be on a predominantly fat diet. I'm not talking on applications for muscle growth. I'm not talking about bodybuilding. I'm not talking about fucking performance athletics. I am talking about life. Our bodies were meant to feast on a fucking lot of fat and protein and then produce ketones from stored body fat. So eating multiple times a day is actually a newfangled fad. Let me go into some notes I have. I fucking took notes because I give a fuck. And I love the word fuck today. Katie, what's wrong with me? Potty mouth. Could be because I eat. No, never mind. Okay, anyway. Remember pre-1980? I don't. I was born in 1980. But in 1980, some dramatic shift happened. Our diets shifted from fat to carbohydrate. We went from drinking whole fat milk. We went from eating whole high fat foods and beef and none of this low fat bullshit. No skim milk. We drank milk fresh from the cow's teat. All right, here's what happened. The filthy, dirty, money-grubbing fucking politicians in Washington put out that dirty food pyramid. That food pyramid said that we should eat processed bullshit carbs. Processed bullshit carbs as the base of our diet. And we should cut out fat. And when companies cut out fat, what did they replace them with? Well, to make food taste good, to make it shelf stable, you had to replace it with bullshit processed carbohydrate. What happened? Before 1980, if you look at the data, the literature, all the history, very few, if not any, fucking childhood fucking type 2 diabetics. However, now, it's a fucking epidemic. Obesity is an all-time high. So we listened to the big nanny state government. What do? They fucking gave us all diabetes. Why? They weren't in ketosis in the fucking 60s, in the 1800s. You didn't have Paleolithic man running across the fucking continent worrying about an insulin injection. No, you didn't. What you had is people producing bullshit. And the body sees this fucking simple sugar, these processed things. Remember, when you eat a piece of fruit, it has fiber in it. It has micronutrients in it. It kind of knows what to do with that, okay? But your body gets in processed carbohydrate. Your body gets in a Pop-Tart. It's looking at this like, holy shit, what do I do? Insulin fucking spikes. Your body's figuring out what to do. It's trying to balance it out. Your body has all these balancing things, right? Like when you fast, your body increases human growth hormone to maintain stuff, right? Now, when you intake these carbohydrate in the processed form, sugars, what happens? Well, your body releases insulin to bring that shit down, right? Your pancreas goes nuts, leading to syndrome X, leading to type 2 diabetes. Why am I going into this? Well, ketogenic diets, inherently, are they the best? Depends. For some people, they might be. For a competitive athlete doing high intense bouts of training, might not be. For a bodybuilder, a power lifter, for a bodybuilder looking at maximizing muscle mass, maybe not. However, for a bodybuilder dieting, looking at preserving muscle, there's plenty of data on the fact that fasting or being in a ketogenic state, relying on ketones, will preserve more muscle than simple calorie-restricted eating. Not saying that's the optimal way, just saying there's data suggesting that. So I'm saying that for general health, you are better off on a higher fat, moderate protein, and controlled carbohydrate diet than not. It's my opinion, Brendan. You know, data that is meaningless. No data is meaningless. Even data funded by somebody who has an ulterior motive like the vegans, even that has some take-homes from it, okay? We cannot just take data from one side and not the other, okay? Now, here's the thing. Humans are meant to have fatty diets. They just are. You know, our stomach is built where we want nutrient-dense, calorically dense foods. We obviously lacking the larger colon and appendix of other animals. It's not our thing. It's not our thing to be able to digest that. Now, plants do have benefits as we look at all ends. There is data to suggest better cholesterol with fruits and fiber, better cholesterol with broccolis, with grains, with whatever. There is data on that note. So I'm not saying you need to be keto. I'm saying that you can't look at this study and say that, hey, wait a second, keto is going to lead to diabetes, because here's why it doesn't make sense to me. Carbs aren't really essential. Sure, the body knows what to do with them, but I think carbs are something we can do without. So if there's one nutrient that should be on the ass end of your intake, it's going to be carbohydrate. However, I love carbohydrate for performance athletes, for people trying to maximize recovery. Plenty of data on carbohydrate maximizing recovery. However, to say that keto is going to cause your your chances of getting diabetes to increase is kind of silly to me. It's kind of silly because here's what I see causing diabetes from my extrapolated layman's data. Okay, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy who looks stuff up and who is a connoisseur of research. Now, what happens when we are on a modern day diet? You're eating 6 to 8 times. The average American doesn't eat, he only eats 2 times a day. No, that motherfucker's snacking on candy bars, snacking on potato chips. His insulin's doing this. What happens when your insulin is spiked all the time and your body becomes resistant? It's like, oh, fuck, here it goes again. Here it goes again. Here it goes again. Overworking your pancreas, overworking your system. Insulin is the storage hormone. Yeah, insulin does a lot of great things. It drives nutrients. It tells your body what to do with glucose. It's there for a reason. But your body will have enough glucose to sustain, well, with just what it gets from gluconeogenesis and what the liver processes. The liver can generate what? Up to 70 grams of carbohydrate. I believe with your body and your muscular stores, the average person has what? 150 grams of carbohydrate it could generate on its own. That might not be enough for certain individuals. That's where I like to see performance athletes or my clients or diet people I work with. I like to see them have carbohydrate at least around training. For every one of my clients, they have carbohydrate around training. However, realize ketogenesis can be obtained from some people from having literally 100 grams of carbs. What if someone has a higher metabolism? What if someone does a lot of high intensity training? What if someone runs marathons? What if someone runs marathons? So yes, your body can derive glucose from gluconeogenesis, absolutely. Is it the most efficient process? No. Some will argue that's a good thing. What I'm saying is I do not believe that ketogenesis will increase your risk of diabetes. And I would like to state the final mic drop on this study. It needs to be repeated in humans. It was done on mice.
You look just like a mouse, honey.
I do look like a mouse, mighty mouse. So it was done on mice. There's a lot of things that have been done in rodents that have not carried on to the real world. On Monday, I have a video on CLA and why it sucks. CLA, for those of you who don't know, are conjugated linoleic acid. CLA is a fat that's sold in the industry. All the positive data on CLA that we can look at, the one that I care about, was done based on natural CLA. The CLA they're selling in pill forms, are derived chemically from safflower or sunflower oil. However, CLA from its natural sources, which is grass-fed beef and other animals, it's not the same. And also the data that is positive is in rats and mice. We have had a couple positive data in human beings, but generally speaking, there's more saying that it doesn't do a fucking thing except for increase your fat intake versus positive. So what I'm saying is this is on mice. This is something that needs to be repeated in humans. And for now, if you're on a ketogenic diet, don't worry. You're not gonna fucking get diabetes. I went on a 13-minute tangent, and for that, I apologize. However, I will say that much of this needed to be said. I am not personally on a ketogenic diet, for the record. I am not personally a ketogenic diet fiend. I do, however, believe that the human body does most efficient. Now, the body does very well as a vegan. The body does very well on a high carbohydrate diet, but I'm not looking at very well, I'm looking at optimal. For optimal function, I do believe we need a higher fat intake. I do believe we have to have a moderate to high protein intake. And I do believe that if there's one thing that can be sacrificed in the pursuit of greatness, because most of us here are not Olympic sprinters. I'm not. Most of us here are just normal fuckers, either students, dad bods, whatever, who want to be able to have a decent sized bicep, who want to be able to have chiseled abs, and bye baby, I love you. And who want to be able to play with our kids, have energy, and live a long, healthy life. And for that, I recommend animal proteins. However, if you are a vegan, you could still have a higher fat diet. For example, my partner at Ambrosia, Sean Torbati, three of his meals a day, or 3 of his intakes, he uses a vegan protein. We actually have one coming out with my partner, Mike Rashid. We have a vegan protein coming out under Ambrosia. That's going to be amazing. You could have almond butter. You could have peanut butter. You could have avocado. Bottom line is, I believe we need a healthy fat intake. But to believe that ketogenesis is going to cause higher diabetes than the standard American diet, which is high fat, bullshit fat, high processed carbohydrate, and low to moderate protein, is absolutely fucking absurd. So those are my friends on keto. Don't worry. You're not going to get diabetes. With that said, let's get on to some questions. I think I triggered some people. There's a lot of questions here. Keto causes diabetes. Okay. My doctor has been telling me to do that for my diabetes. You actually have a very advanced, good doctor. Keep him. Big fan of intermittent fasting. Josh, as am I. I'm going to be I'm flying tomorrow to New York via plane. I'm not using my arms. What a perfect day to fast. Blood lipids block insulin signals in muscle cells. Well, theoretically, you're also looking at it very simplistically. It can do that. It can have that effect, but realize that your body can adapt to different stores of fat. It's also realize what fat is that. DHA has been shown to increase glycogen uptake. So, it is what it is. What's up from New Mexico? Glycogen stuck in your blood vessels. There you go. Okay, there you go. Some personal anecdote from Jacob. He's type 1 diabetic who's done keto for years, and he's totally experienced psychological, physiological IR briefly after eating something fatty. What do you think of no protein day or zero protein, just like no carb day? I think it's retarded. But I do think a complete fasting day is not a bad thing. Do you need protein, literally burning muscle mass, not eating it? You need protein because it's essential. There are 2 essential nutrients in the body, essential amino acids and essential fatty acids. Protein is an essential amino acid. If you don't eat it, you will perish. I'm sure one day without it would be fine, but don't fast and have a no protein day, okay? So what's up, Sweden? The keto is a survival mechanism, but realize that for centuries, a lot of our ancestors survived on simply high-fat foods, including biblically. Biblically, remember, even Cain and Abel. God looked more favorably upon Cain, who brought him, I believe it was Cain, who brought him, obviously, the mullet of lamb, which is fatty lamb meat, versus Abel, who actually brought him vegetables because he was a caretaker of the earth or he harvested grains. So historically, while keto is a survival mechanism, it's a survival mechanism for a reason, because fat is very easy for the body use for many processes. And there's a reason why fat is an essential nutrient, whereas carbohydrate is an optional nutrient, because your body can derive carbohydrate from other things, and it can also provide your body with energy and substrate to run our brains. Remember, our brain is, what is it? It utilizes 25% of our body's energy. However, it is only 2% of our body's mass. Okay, not an optimal state to be in 24/7. Well, remember, gluconeogenesis is on an as-needed basis. So if your body needs gluconeogenesis to sustain, it'll do it. If it doesn't, it won't. I've been ketogenic for years. It's fine. Maybe 2 to 3 cheat meals in 3 years. Wow. Keto is for people that don't know nutritional science. I don't know. I think Dr. Jason Fung knows some nutritional science. And there's a lot of keto people. Dr. Jeffrey Volek knows nutritional science. In fact, Brandon, I believe Dr. Jeffrey Volek is probably much more researched and educated than you. I'm a huge fan of keto, but it's not the fucking cure-all that everybody is screaming it is. Abso-fucking-lutely. Keto is never the best for anyone. Disagree. It could be the best for a lot of people. Data that is meaningless. Again, like I've gone over this before, Brendan, Explain what meaningless data is. I believe all data has a place. Define controlled. It's when you have a placebo group. They don't know what the fuck they're taking, and then you have the other groups. Keto life. We got some keto people. Keto is good. Carbs are good too. Processed foods and vegetable oils are the fucking enemy. There you go, Jacob. As a figure competitor and follow the ketogenic diet for almost 2 to 4 years, I completely follow what you're saying, that it's not the enemy. Your body needs fat for fuel. Absolutely. Your nutritional requirements are based on physical activity, environmental factors, mental health, and musculature. Brandon, you and I agree there. So, Robert, how you doing? Hopefully I can teach you something. No, just kidding. Robert's much smarter than I. Insulin also assimilates protein and stores fat. It does help with that. It helps to deliver amino acids, absolutely. But remember, amino acids, if taken on their own, like BCA or whey, have their own acute insulin spike, which I can argue will do the same thing. You mean feasting on muscle tissue to supply energy? Actually, no, the body doesn't go straight to muscle tissue. That's not the first thing the body does. Gluconeogenesis is the conversion of amino acids in the liver. Doesn't mean it's feasting on muscle tissue. In fact, when you're fasting, the data has shown that you actually have less muscle wasting than when you're on a straight calorically restricted diet. Gluconeogenesis is legit. I'm week 3 on carnivore and wearing a CGM, and I'll straight up watch my blood sugar rise while working out. Gluconeogenesis is real. Doctors don't know shit about nutrition. I have them in my office all the time. Unfortunately, Brandon, you are, for the most part, correct. They are fed the same agenda in their education. Also, general MD do not equal nutritionists. Okay, when your doctor is fat, get a new doctor, just like your trainer. To be honest, I trust Marc before a doctor. It depends what doctor. Maybe Dr. Oz. Nutritionists and dietitians are clueless also. You know what? I wouldn't generally blanket state because Kara Corey is a dietitian and she a registered dietitian and she's smart as fuck. Told my doctor I was vegan and she went blank. Bro, you will hurt in the long run for veganism. I don't know. I've seen a lot of healthy vegans like Mike Rashid. Mike Rashid's defying all that statement 100%. Years of education and insurance and a board that monitors its doctors. You're absolutely right. Okay. I know a couple swole vegans, most aren't though. I know a couple swole keto guys and most look like shit. Let's be real, guys. Most of the guys preaching keto on Instagram look like fucking shit. So it is what it is. I'm keto a lot of the time. I will be real. Like I'll have carbs around training for real hard workouts. I'll have cream of rice with my MTS whey and then post workout, I'll have like a frozen banana with some berries in my whey. But generally speaking, I eat keto a lot. I eat a very high fat, moderate protein, and lower carb diet. Brandon, I agree. I agree that you can have carbs. To be healthy, the variety of foods and only eat what you can burn off. I disagree because what can you burn off? Explain that. In fact, it's been shown that we overestimate the calories burned during training tremendously. I'm talking like 80% overestimation of calories burned. People think they burn all these carbs during weight training. Weight training, even the hardest weight training, fucking 4-hour marathon session won't burn barely 50 grams of carbs. What are your carbs like? Some days 0, some days 100. No, she just had no nutritional knowledge on a whole plant-based diet. Plant-based diets can work. Just to be clear, keto doesn't cause diabetes, correct? Based on the data I have observed, no, it doesn't cause diabetes. Speak about absence of carbohydrate and lack of thyroid hormone. You know, Brandon, I will say that keto diets and also fasting have been shown to lower thyroid. However, I've known a lot of key people on keto and seen a lot of data where it doesn't have that effect. And one can also argue that your thyroid doesn't need to be as crazy if you do not have the constant insulin spikes and yada yada. So I will defer on that one. From what I've seen, it's not going to cause a negative thyroid issue. However, one can argue that it might. And that's where periodic refeeds or a cheat meal here or there should mitigate a lot of that. Without carbs, thyroid hormone secretion will stop. No, I wouldn't say that. It's not completely reliant on carbs. What is my total daily carbs? Today, I just don't feel like eating much. I'm kind of fasting. I feel that I've kind of pushed it with calories because I boxed yesterday and my appetite went super high. So I had some extra carbohydrate in the form of bananas and berries, things like that. I also had an extra beef patty with dinner. Generally speaking, I normally have, probably 8 to 12 ounces of ground beef, 85% fat, along with 2 to 3 pieces of bacon and a huge salad with guacamole as the dressing, guacamole and salsa. It's very low carbohydrate. But generally speaking, I ate a lot yesterday, so my stomach is, it doesn't feel, I like it to feel somewhat empty, like just a little bit empty. So I'm going to fast till dinner today, even though I trained. And I had my post-workout, I had my scoop of I had my Swole, I had my branch chains. So basically I'm going liquid right now. I have my Ritual AM in here to get my body some BHBs. Gonna have my mental jewels. My brain is just functioning optimally. For breakfast today, I had 2 whole eggs, 4 ounces of ground beef, and I had a strip of bacon. And then I trained and I feel great. I had my machine fuel during training. I had an extra 2 scoops post-workout with my Swole and overtraining solution and all that. I still can't believe it's 2018. We're still talking about bullshit keto. Well, because keto has been shown more and more to, it's going to be even more because Brandon, autophagy is a big word. And seeing that keto can do 71% of the benefits of, of a fast, then we're going to go. Yes, our ancestors' diets lack carbs. They also died at 20 years old. Well, you're factoring in other things. Like we have more medical treatment that can, for example, a lot of that has to do with childbirth. Remember, Brandon, you're taking a statistics that's extremely skewed and you're fucking doing a straw man argument. That's bullshit because you're wrong. A lot of people fucking died because of birth. A lot of the age was brought way down because giving birth used to be a fucking horrible thing. Women used to die of infection. You had people dying of we didn't have tetanus shots and shit. You had people dying of shit we don't die of today. So unless we had the standard medical care to fucking keep people from dying we do now, we can't make that. All we know is our body's digestive system is made to process fat more fucking readily than carb and all that shit. You gotta look at gorillas' diets. Gorillas are still getting mostly fat in their diet due to the way they digest the short chain fatty acids. Like you're speaking fucking simplistic nonsense here, bro. All due respect, I agree with 50 to 90% of what you're saying, but I don't agree with the anti-keto shit. I'm not a keto guy. I'm not a keto guy. I'm not a keto fucking zealot. However, I call a spade a spade. I've been on keto for a year and I've been doing great. Great, Elliot. I hope it works for you. Diseases and no understanding of medicine, Brandon, please use your brain. I think he's using his brain, Bubby, and that's why I love Brandon, and I hope there's more Brandons in here. Here's why. Brandon provides dissent. I do not want a live where everybody's like, keto, yay, fat. If we do not have dissent, we do not have fucking enlightenment, dude. That's the problem with politics. You got all these pro-Trumpers, anti-Trumpers. Shut the fuck up. Why don't we all listen to each other? I was just talking to, actually, we have a cleaning service that comes every other week at our house. I was talking to one of the people cleaning our house. Beautiful, nice woman. I love her. She comes every week. Works her ass off. We give her a hell of a Christmas gift. I'll tell you that. And we were talking about politics. Well, because I love talking to people. And I'm like, what sucks? And just so bad. This is not because it matters, but it kind of does. She was black. So just so you know, more people like debate, even though they might disagree. I'm not a Trump fan. I like statistics. That's besides the point. Here's my point. I want to know from the people who love Trump and the people who hate Trump, why? Why do you love him? Why do you hate him? Not liking his hair or just calling him a blanket racist, that doesn't make sense. Tell me why he sucks. Tell me why he's good. Oh, he makes America great again. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? America's always been fucking great, dude. I came from fucking nothing and I'm living in a fucking huge house in the suburbs now. Don't fucking get to me about, America. Dude, I did fucking amazing in the Obama years. Statistically, he wasn't very good, but I fucking love America. Give me a fucking reason. And Brandon is fucking bringing it home with some fucking great scientific statements. And I agree with about 60 to 70% of them. Guys, listen to Brandon. Dissent is good. I did keto for 6 months and all my lifts were down. Well, if that's felt weak, why? I don't think you did it right, George. If your body gets fat adapted and works on ketones and stored fat as energy, and you're getting it, and also electrolytes. Were you making sure you were getting enough electrolytes? Does it help with people with heart disease? I've seen arguments from both sides. I have seen that a high-fat, moderate protein diet could help with heart disease. But I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say, if you have heart disease, cut out the processed garbage. Stop eating Pop-Tarts. Stop eating fucking processed sugar. Stop making your coffee with 10 tablespoons of fucking sugar. And I guarantee you, you will feel and look better. Keto and taking TRT doesn't make it easier to lift heavy. I've been on TRT since I was 27 years old. I lift pretty fucking heavy, but I will tell you this, George, and this is in full disclosure, being honest. Since I got with my doctor, and I'll post his info down below, Dr. Kurt Mondell at Hormone Health and Wellness, I've never felt better. And even though I'm fasting a lot, and I'm down to about 215 pounds right now, if you guys saw my picture on Instagram today, I'll be real, like I still have bags under my eyes and they're going away. And I know that's from fasting. I know that's from a lot of things I'm doing, but HRT is making me feel fucking great. So I cannot comment on that. However, any natural keto guy in this, please comment. I cannot comment on that because I am not natural. I am on doctor-prescribed HRT. I'm not natural. How long have you been on TRT? I answered this, George, and I'll answer it again. I was 27 years old. However, I started with Hormone Health and Wellness. I'll link them down below after this video. I started with them 2 months ago. It's been the best 2 months of my life. I feel amazing. I'll look better than ever. God, I've never felt this good. But again, playing devil's advocate, I also started fasting and I cut my carbohydrate intake well down. Not ketogenic, but I am having a mainly fat-based diet. Hey, Mark, I've gained 12 pounds of lean muscle on keto. Most people don't know how to train and eat. Honestly, if you're hypercaloric, you can gain weight and gain muscle on keto. However, insulin does drive muscle into muscle cells as well. For those of you looking to make muscle gains and you're already extremely lean, I do see carbohydrate being a welcome addition to your diet. No offense, you look like shit serious. No offense at all. Well, if I look like shit, at least my wife still fucks me, right? I've been doing the 24-hour-a-week fast for a month so far. I've been feeling great. I know it won't necessarily work for every person, but I just felt, honestly, Ryan, it's awesome. Any thought on doing the Insanity program while on keto? I have no fucking clue what that is, bro. I only know the shit How was your carnivore diet? I believe it was lacking. I believe adding in some animal fat like guacamole. I believe adding in some vegan protein like the one we're formulating with ambrosia. I believe that can help. And I like vegetables here and there, you know? But, you know, does keto make you tired easily? While I'm not on keto, George, even though I look like shit, I'm never tired. However, when it's time to go to bed, I sleep like a fucking baby. I'm also on HGH. I'm on Semarelin. I started it this week. But I've been sleeping like a baby for a long time. How much are you weighing these days? 215? Keto for life? Maybe if you like it. Badass portrait behind you. Our Wi-Fi router broke. We have the Google one coming in tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be able to do my lives from my office. I'm tackling my national exam for ENT next week. Any advice to feel good the day of? Honestly, all I can say is drink adequate water and take your mental jewels. That's all I got. Does long-term keto diet cause heart problems? Too many fats? No, I believe the fats can be heart healthy, and all the instance I've seen on heart disease is actually more linked to bullshit carbs. I'm not talking about good carbs like oats and even rice. I'm talking about the bullshit processed bullshit. Is 1.5 grams of protein per pound too much? I don't believe so, no. Your thoughts on keto tablets? How to lose them? I don't know what the fuck a keto tablet is. I thought you were live at 2. No, that was on Tuesday. I'm live now. I don't like that he claims to be business-oriented, but he's never been a failure at everything he's always attempted. Me or who else? Who's been a failure? Is it me or off to the gym, Mark? Love your live videos. Long live MTS and long live the Queen. Mr. Grabber. I don't think I hate him, but one thing I seriously disliked was his position on the Latino. Oh, Trump. Trump's been a failure at everything he's attempted. He has towers in all major cities with his name on the side, and he's president of the United States. I'd say that he's not a failure. We are a country of immigrants that have united to become a strong superpower on earth, and I'm proud to be an American. Fuck yeah. I'm first generation American. My mom was not born in this country. It reversed mines completely, lost 75 pounds, was 310, now at 230. You know what? Good fucking work, Cahokia. How important is iodine and salt? I use sea salt. I like naturally occurring minerals. I don't like table salt at all. Keto this, keto that, diet this, diet that, TRT this, TRT that, gear this, gear that, eat good, don't eat crap, exercise, have lots of sex, and you'll be fine. Oh, Mark Silva with the free flow, wiki, wiki, wiki. I've been on keto for a very long time. I'd love to talk with you sometime. Are you asking me out? I'm not gay, but I've been considering. You need pink sea salt for the minerals. I have pink sea salt, red sea salt, depends on what time of the month. No sex, though. Whew. Man, I like sex. Yeah, sex is fun. I'm just too tired. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, Katie and I are like, I'm like, God, I hope she's not horny tonight because I really fucking need to wake up early tomorrow. I've been doing keto since 2016, was doing it for a bodybuilding show. It's an easy diet to do. Was concerned about diabetes. Lately, I've been looking into more carbs with intermediate fasting. Intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, you don't really need as much to be on keto because basically what keto is doing is it's mimicking the results of fasting without fasting. Do you find your muscles carry less water on keto and prone to injury? No. HRT, what is that? Hormone replacement therapy. Think of it like if you're lacking, like let's say ADD or Prozac, even though whatever, Prozac and mental illness. Basically, if you have a chemical imbalance in your hormones, you take it exogenously, meaning you inject testosterone, HGH, whatever, to bring your hormones back up to normal level. Carnivore works if you eat organs. If it's not, great if you aren't. Or I believe bone broth is something they recommend. Am I not right? How to get good sleep. Honestly, there's a lot of things. I have videos on that on this channel. I want to get through more of those questions, but basically, you want to make sure that a half hour before bed, you don't look at your phone or a TV. There's a supplement, I hate to do this, there's a supplement I make to combat that. It's called Night Owl by Ambrosia. Night Owl, it actually combats the effect of blue light, so it can help you get that deeper sleep. Honestly, and do not watch TV in bed. And if it helps you, eating carbs before bed can actually increase your serotonin, which will help you fall asleep. Love your show. Great channel. Thank you. I love Natural Light. Can make a lime flavored. We already have lemon lime, and I'm going to just stick with that. Will keto make my sick bigger? I'm guessing you meant dick. And if it does make you leaner, your dick will appear bigger. Trump has been a failure, not you. I think he's done statistically phenomenal. Our economy's fucking crushing it. Stocks are over 25K. I still think he's a douchebag, but statistically, he's killing it. Used keto trying to prevent insulin sensitivity and now slowly introduced carbs and went from 15 to 11 after a week of adding carbs back in. Wondering about diet advice for playing football? Well, you do not want to go keto if you're playing football because you will need some form of carbohydrate because it's a very high intensity sport, very short bursts of energy, which is why I'd recommend a carb inclusive diet, but I'd also keep the high fats. Keto doesn't cause diabetes. I'm type 1 diabetic. Keto reduced insulin need to 70-80%. Why the fuck you say that, Mark? You obviously didn't watch any of this video, did you? I'm on your side, motherfucker. So you're pointing at Trump Vodka and Trump University, but you can't explain the fucking high rises. Oh, come on. Let's not get on to Trump here. I'm sorry I even brought that up. Staying lean while performing, okay. Dosage for caffeine depends on your tolerance. One person might have a lot, one person might have a little. When muscles get too big and downsized, they look inflated and beat out. No, that's just atrophy. That's just atrophy. That's atrophy and loose skin. Greetings from Germany. What's up? Do you like Mexican food? Not like taco. Oh, God. Do I like Mexican food? I grew up in fucking Inglewood, California. That's the stupidest question ever. Sammy's Mexican Grill. I go there all the time, right next to my house. Gooey Gonzo, I got you on the bone broth. See, I was right. Thoughts on 1,3-dimethyl, overrated and not really that legal. Have sex and walk down a hill carrying something heavy. I've done that. I don't know if this is TMI, but one of my favorite times to have sex with my wife is pre-workout. Like, I love it. Like, it never affects my lifts. I don't know what kind of fucking orgasms you have, but like, after I have sex, I feel just fine. In fact, I'm happier and I usually lift more weights. Man, I wouldn't. Fuck carrying. I'd rather not carry that shit down a hill. I'd rather just have sex. Is it dangerous to use expired pre-workout? If it's Well, it depends how expired it is. No, what's going to happen, unless it's moldy, is that it's just going to lose effectiveness. It's probably not going to be bad. How much you weighing again? God damn it, George. 215. He is making sure. Okay, dude, no more Trump talk. God damn it, that's my bad. Our stock market is not. Oh, God, here we go. Thank you, Nat. Where have you been my whole life? Ruckus gives me diarrhea. Well, that's stimulants. If you have food around when you take it, it shouldn't do that. Inglewood knows Mexican food. Come down to Texas. Inglewood knows Mexican food because we have taco trucks. Fuck Texas is tacos, man. It's all about Inglewood taco trucks, motherfucker. Inglewood taco trucks. Kush Demon, the title is not sarcastic. It's clickbait. Clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. What do you think about Yohimba? And I fucking love it. Any plans for MTS to show up in Mexico? We already are with Real Nutrition. Eddie runs it. Guys, it's 40 minutes in. I got to go. Love y'all. Peace out.